everyone. In this video, we will look at the basic mathematical operations that we can perform in Python. So, when we talk about the basic mathematical operations, the ones which would instantly come to our mind is the addition, subtraction, multiplication, or dividing two numbers. In Python, we have something called as the modulo and the floor divisions. And finally, we end this particular topic by looking at the order of operations that can be carried out using the BODMAS method. So let's jump into Jupyter Notebook and see how we can perform these tasks. Okay, so here I'm in my Jupyter Notebook. We'll start off with the basic addition. So continuing from the previous topic of comments, so let's write a small comment. So I'll just mention it as adding two numbers. And here, let's just add two numbers. So let's say 5 and 6. So if I simply say 5 plus 6, we'll get the output as 11. Similarly, the next, let's look at subtraction. So here let's subtract 9 from, let's say, 15. So 15 minus 9, we get our answer as 6. The next topic is, next we'll look at multiplication. In multiplication we have, let's say we want to multiply these two numbers, say 4 and 5. So here you can see we are using the same operators that we usually use in a calculator. So this is the flexibility that Python has. We can use the same functions or commands that you use while doing basic mathematics. So plus minus, we have the asterisk symbol for the multiplication, and for division we have the this forward slash. So let's write division, and let's divide, let's say 7 divided by, or divided by, let's say 3. So let's give it a little bit odd kind of thing. So we get 2.33. Now this were the regular operations, but like I mentioned, we have something called as the floor division. So just mention, I'll just write it as floor div, and let's do the same operation of floor division. We, instead of writing only once, we are going to write forward slash twice. So 7 forward slash 3. So now you can see something very interesting. When you do a floor division, Python is going to ignore the remainder part of it. So it's going to ignore the decimal piece. So here we saw 7 divided by 3 is actually 2.333. But when we do a floor division, it simply mentions the value as 2. That means 3 goes into 7 exactly 2 times. And it's going to ignore that particular value of 1, that is the remainder. Now what if I want to know what the remainder is? For that we require to use the modulo operator. So here we have modulo operator, and here we have 7, and for the modulo operator we are simply going to use the percentage sign. So 7 percentage 3. When when we do that, we get the value as 1 because in 7 we get 3 goes into 7 two times, that is 6. We have a remainder of 1. So when you put a modulo operator, it's going to give out that particular remainder that is left out. So 1 was the remainder here. That is how we are getting 7 divided by 3, that is 6 plus 1 divided by 3. So 6 plus 1 divided by 3 is nothing but 2 plus 1 third. So 1 third is 0.33. So that is how we get this value 2.33, and by taking the help of float division and the modulo operator, you are going to get the respective outputs. Now, apart from these, we have the power operations. So let's say if you want to raise a particular number with respect to other number. So I'll just mention it as power. Let's say I want to raise 2 to the power of 5. So for using the power function, we can simply mention double asterisks. So 2 double asterisks 5. If I do that, that means I'm telling Python to raise 2 to the power 5. That is 32. Now, using the exact same thing, you can actually carry out the taking your roots and square roots, or any other root for that matter. So let's say if I simply say, let's say I want the square root of 5. So 5 double asterisk, and since the square root, we know it is 1 divided by 2, or you can also mention it as zero point 0.5. It's up to you, but Python will understand what exactly we want. So we know square root of 5 is 2.23, so we get this particular value for many decimal places. Now let's look at the order of operations that can be carried out in Python. So I had mentioned this thing called BODMAS. So BODMAS stands for bracket of, then we have division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction. So if I have to mention it, let's say we want to carry out a certain operation of, let's say we want to add 5. Okay, if we simply mention this 5 plus 6 multiplied by 10 divided by 2, and if we run this, we get the value of 35. But how did we get the value of 35? This is because what Python actually did is 5 plus 6 times, it has executed the first piece as division. Since there is no bracket and there is no operator, we have, it is from BODMAS, it is going to start from this place. So DMAS. So it is going to do the division first. So 10 divided by 2 is nothing but 5. The next thing what it is going to do is it's going to multiply these two numbers. So here we have 5 plus 30.0. That is how we are getting the value as 35.0. You might wonder as to why we have this point 0 in place instead of simply writing it as 5. This is because when you divide two numbers, Python by default is going to go and store the value in a float format rather than integer format. Okay, so this is the reason why we have this point 0 as a decimal place coming in the value. Now let's say if I had actually wanted to do, I wanted to add 5 to 6, and then I wanted to multiply it with 10 and then divide the entire value by 2, if I wanted to do something like that. So we saw if we simply write it like this, we're getting the value as 35 because this is the order of the operation. But now I want to change the order. So let me just copy this out. So I'll copy it out. And like I said, if I wanted to add 5 and 6 first, so what I have to do is I have to initialize braces. Then I wanted to multiply it with 10, and then I wanted to divide the entire thing by 2. So I can actually include the braces like this. So I want to add 5 and 6 first, and then I want to multiply by 10. Then whatever output I have gotten, I want to divide it by 2. So now since you have initiated the braces here, and now when we run this, we're getting the value as 55.0. Okay, so let's see what has happened here. So 5 plus 6 is 11. So because we have two braces here, the innermost brace is first executed. So we have the value as 11 times 10, and then it is being divided by 2. Next step is nothing but 110 divided by 2, and that is nothing but 55.0. That is why we are getting the value as 55.0. Okay, so this is the order of operations that we have. If you just simply remember this short form of board mass, it is going to make sure that you understand the concept of the order of operations inside the Python. Okay, so this is what I had for you in this video. Thank you.